Fasting plus ultra high protein intakes are almost a biohack for building a lean physique. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. You know, because this is something that's come up. Everyone has always historically thought of me as a fluffier power lifter, a little higher body fat and all that stuff, and I've continued to get leaner and leaner and leaner, over the last couple of years at this point, as I started working more and more on my physique. And that's one of the things that people have asked me, how are you getting leaner? How are you keeping all the muscle while getting leaner, closing in on 50 years old? What's going on with everything you're doing? And something that I want to point out here is intermittent fasting plus ultra high protein. Again, how many people have promoted this? Martin Burkham, all these other people in the past with lean gains. All right, and I want to be clear, these are all methods I've experimented with. Keep in mind, I've lost over 100 pounds before 2 different times. Like, I've broken down my history on that. So the reason I still have that loose skin around the waistline, because I've lost over 100 pounds of fat before. So I've experimented with all these methods over the years. And the thing that I've really found that really kind of took me over to the next level with this was adding, more fasted cardio in. But, these days I do all my training fasted, okay? I do all my training fasted. My lifting is fasted. Most of my cardio is fasted. And I tend to eat very, very high protein intakes, 250, 300 grams, sometimes more, is normal for me. Hey, that's normal for me. And what's happened? I've just slowly chipped away and gotten leaner while gaining a bit of muscle while doing it, Now, people say, didn't you have more muscle in your legs and stuff, years ago when you were like 250 with the bigger squat? Yeah, but I did a lot of the cutting and lost that before that. I've gotten leaner since then. And in fact, at certain points since I've gotten leaner and continue to get leaner, my legs have started coming back up. Because I finally reached a point where I'm able to remake some lean gains on top of all this, okay? Able to fill some of this stuff back out. And, I've continued to just chip away at the body fat. And I'm doing it these days without what anyone would think of as a truly dedicated cut. Like, I eat over 3,000 calories all the time. Like, I don't go under that. It's not like I'm over here dieting on 2,200 calories or anything like that. My food intake is always really, really high. It's over 3,000 calories almost 365 days a year. Okay? So I'm not starving myself, and that's one reason I've retained the muscle. But what I would point out to people, what if you started with a physique that was already decently lean and you just wanted to really get a lean physique and make lean gains? Well, this approach works. And now, am I saying it's optimal for muscle growth? Of course not. But is it optimal for making at least some lean gains all the time while getting leaner, chipping away at body fat? Because have I not gotten leaner? Anyone who's watched this process is like, oh man, you've just continued to, over the months, like every time I come back every 2 or 3 months and you've made progress, right? But notice that I'm still moving big weights. I'm still keeping all my muscle, okay? Right? We're still moving a lot of weight. We're still strong. We've kept all the muscle. And in fact, I've started making some lean gains again. Not been like a crazy cut. But the thing is, you see where I'm at here, and I've done this and it's worked. And I've shown it works. Hey, I've shown that it works. We can argue about other people have done it. People will say that all the time. Well, you can't just go off what others do when you make recommendations. Okay, true. So I've done this stuff. And you guys have watched it in real time. And I've done different diets. I want to be clear. I've done really high carb, low fat. I've done low carb, high fat. I've done moderate of both. Right? But the two things I've had in common with all of this has been what? Fasting. Fasting in the mornings, really high protein. Then I started lifting fasted. I got even leaner, making gains. Then the next thing I did, somewhat recently, and it really kind of started taking stuff again another notch, doing my cardio fasted. So I literally lift, get some other work done, and then go do cardio most days. I would say at least 4 to 5 days a week. I lift and do cardio afterwards later in the day. maybe an hour or two later, and then eat breakfast. And we protein load really, really heavy and all of that. And what's been the end result? I've just continued to chip away at the body fat. But it hasn't been this, we're losing muscle, we're losing strength. Because I'm playing a long game with it. And what I would suggest to people, this is an approach you could do year round. Right? You could live your life like that. And always train in the morning. If you're going to do this whole fasting thing, get up and always train before work. You got a full time busy job. Train in the morning. Try to train in the evening. Do it in the morning. That's the thing that I find on the nutrient partitioning end. I just strip away body fat, even if I keep the calories up. Okay? Even if I keep the calories pretty high, just keep stripping it away. It works. Keeping in mind, people, I am genetically and appetite psychologically prone to be really fat. People have seen old pictures, they've seen other stuff. I've been over 300 pounds. I have a history of binge eating. I have binge eating disorder to some extent. Yet this sort of approach controls it. We have appetite control. We have nutrient partitioning. All right, and that's a big combination. That's the big combination. But it seems like because I eat really high protein and I train hard, I don't really regain fat later in the day from the deficit I created in the morning. Because that's always been the argument, right? That 24-hour cycle. Well, as long as it balances out in the end, you may burn through fat through that window in the morning, and then you'll regain more fat from eating later. Except that hasn't really been the case, has it? If anything, I feel like the fasted training, even on the same calories, seems to get me leaner quicker. And this is where we're at now, keeping in mind where I used to be. I used to have a little bit of a belly and stuff, even as a power lifter. So what happens if I keep doing this? If I then market the approach, we call it Lean Gains 2.0, Dad Bod to Daddy. I call it Dad Bod to Daddy now. Okay, and that's what I would suggest. A lot of you guys out there, fasted training, keep the protein really high. Part of the Dad Bod to Daddy approach. And I've had more of my clients work with this more and more. And they're getting pretty good results, right? It seems like every single time I have someone do that, irrespective of how much they try to eat, they all get leaner. They all lose body fat. So far, every single time. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.